This is a Fast Five where we give you today's political headlines in 5 minutes or less. Today's episode is brought to you by Warren Wessel of Warren Wessel Realty. If you're buying or selling a home, give Warren a call at 612-419-7453. He thinks like you. He's a good conservative. Give Warren Wessel a call. All right, we got one story to tell you today, but 3 headlines from it. Last night, we forced the Minnesota GOP State Exec Committee to have an emergency meeting. I'm sorry, we meaning Action for Liberty, not Truth Hurts. Action for Liberty forced it. Great job by our president, Erik Mortensen. All right, he actually meets Chairman David Hann in the parking lot beforehand. This video, you got to see it. Check this out.
David Hann, Erik Mortensen, Action for Liberty. Are you going to restore the delegates tonight in Otter County that you unilaterally removed from the delegate rolls illegally? Are you going to restore the voices in Otter County? Nothing to say? Nothing. Nothing from tyrant David Hann. Coward. Total coward.
So then they all attend this meeting. There's a bunch of activists in the meeting, and they kick him out. They rule, or they take a vote, and they say, well, we don't want these guys here. We don't want the public's knowing what we're doing in this room. So they kick him out. We're like, oh, my God, is this going to go down? Is this going to be bad? They have 2 matters at hand. They got to decide House District 57A, okay? And we reported about this. This is where John Koznick, or Rhino John Koznick, decides, I'm getting this endorsement from a convention that wasn't legitimately called. Well, the Minnesota GOP Exec Committee last night decided in a 7-5 vote that was an illegitimate convention, and the true convention will be this Saturday, March 16th. Big victory for grassroots. Now, I have no idea who's going to get endorsed this weekend. Is it going to be John Koznick or Rick Stidger? But you got to follow the rules. That's all we ask. Follow the damn rules. Don't be the Democrats. Follow the rules, GOP. The other story, and the big story of the night, and this exec committee went real late in the night. I mean, we're talking not late in the night. They went early in the morning. It was done at like 1:40 in the morning. That's how late they stayed there. Now, let me just say, this is a technique. It's a filibuster technique, okay? David Hann, and this guy's so corrupt, party chair David Hann, what he's trying to do is talk this thing to death. So they don't even have to have a vote, okay? But you guys reached out to the party members, the state exec members, and I heard 500 emails, texts, and phone calls. I've heard 1,000. I don't know how many they got, but they got a lot because you contacted them. And it made it politically toxic for them to be against you. And so they tried filibustering the issue of reinstating the Otter County delegates. Big story. Obviously, David Hann unilaterally decided to not recognize hundreds of delegates in Otter County, Minnesota. So last night they voted to reinstate. Let me be more specific. They voted on a motion, and it passed, that they start a task force to reinstate these delegates. They got to go find out who got elected that night, not just take David Hann's word that none of these delegates can be found. And so they voted to override David Hann's decision, his unilateral decision. Big victory for the grassroots, big victory for conservatives all throughout Minnesota. So those are your political headlines. You're not going to hear those from anywhere else. I'll tell you that much. You're not going to hear those headlines from some other political news source, but you can go to truthhurtsnews.com and learn more about these stories. Take care.